Hello, it's me, Jim, and I'm a little off center here. Let me move over a little bit. So, today I thought I would talk about data literacy on the part of our educators. I'm afraid that too many of our educators, and I'm talking now principals and even district office leaders, are not data literate. Teachers, I think, need to be more data literate too, but they can't be data literate if their principals are giving them incorrect information and if the district office leaders don't understand the data themselves. I say this because I recently got hold of a concern that was expressed about me as a principal when I sent out some data to the community. And the district leadership did not want that information out there. And so this is what was written. I believe we should determine how and when to release test data, as well as providing context for our site administrators. Is 50% proficient or failing on a 100% scale, or is 50% average statewide? Okay, so this might seem like a reasonable question from a district office leader, except that it isn't, because the information that I sent out was proficiency numbers. So I was indicating that there were this many percent proficient in the building. And so this leader should have understood that 50% proficient is different than a 50% average. 50% proficient means that whatever the cut score, passing score is for this particular subject area, 50% of our students achieved that. And then she goes on to say, why 52% as a goal? Well, that was the goal. It is not a very lofty goal to go from 50 to 52%, but it was the goal that was set by our faculty. And so 52% just simply means that we want more kids to be proficient next year than we have this year. Again, she goes on, why the difference in fourth and fifth grade scores? Duh, because fifth grade had more proficiency, more students passing the test than fourth grade did. And then I think when parents end up with more questions after reading a newsletter article, that leads to problems. Well, if they have questions, I had opportunities for them to ask those questions. I had several information sessions around data. I answered several questions that parents had. I think having parents with questions is a good thing. They should be asking questions about the data. If you're a parent out there and you aren't asking about data or getting your hands on data from your school, you need to demand it immediately. This is ridiculous. Our district leaders don't want you, in some cases, to see the data, and it's important for you to see the data. But then I explained to the district leader that, look, this data was readily available on the data gateway. Those of you who haven't been to the data gateway and looked at the report cards, looked at the comparison of schools, get on there and take a look, because there's a lot of really good information and we need to be understanding that information so that we can explain it to our teachers and so that they can explain it to their communities, because our parents deserve to know how our schools are doing. They deserve to see this data. But evidence here that we need data literacy for our district leaders and for our principals so that they can get the proper information out there. And this idea that we should be carefully releasing data is just beyond me. And we need to craft it in a way that people can access it, can understand it, yes. And that starts with us understanding it, but we shouldn't be screening the data that we're giving to parents. I mean, obviously, we're not going to break any confidentiality rules, but we need to be getting that information out to parents. And right now, I don't think our parents have a good idea. Our families don't have a good idea of the kinds of data that are available and how our schools are doing based upon that data. So, data literacy for principals and for district leaders so that they can properly train teachers. That's all for today.